How do some of you people have your job? Honestly, I am shocked by some of the things that I read in my comments from people who should know better. Yeah, you may note that I didn't put the comments out here. I didn't want to embarrass the people. But you will know who you are. You don't know what you're talking about. So I'm going to talk about this because this gets sent to me all the time and show you that these people don't know what they're talking about. I'm going to talk about yesterday's video and building cost and show you that people don't know what they're talking about. And the trade war heats up again. Let's start there. But first, remember, if you like my content, please like, follow, and share. And if you or someone you know would like to work with me, the link is in the bio. Shocking, the trade war is on again. All the things that happened last weekend in Iran didn't do shit to the economy, so Donald Trump has turned to his favorite punching bag, Canada. Here's the entire tirade, but let's just go with how he starts this off. We have just been informed that Canada, yada yada yada, digital services tax. That digital services tax on the government of Canada, which received royal assent on June 20th of 2024 and came into force on June 28th of 2024, 1 year ago today. He just got the memo? I don't think so. Now let me be clear about something. I don't like this digital services tax because we're going to pay for it. Is it a tariff? No. A tariff is a tax. Why does this tax exist? Because of tax avoidance. These companies are earning money here in Canada and not paying income tax. I don't get to do that. You don't get to do that. Why does Google get to do that? Why does Facebook get to do that? Some of you people have some strange heroes. Like, I don't understand this notion that these multi-billion-dollar companies that pay shit in tax, that they should continue to be avoiding tax. Like, Jeff Bezos rented Venice for his wedding. He rented the city of Venice for his wedding. Do you think maybe it's a little overboard? Like, while you're sitting there wondering if your next paycheck is going to cover all your bills, maybe you should reconsider supporting the billionaires in their tax avoidance. All right, yesterday, man, there were some comments about the building cost. The fuck is wrong with you people? I'm going to say this again, and I have verified it. This is the building cost. This is the building price index. The cost of building never comes down. I went looking all the way back to 1981, okay? There's so much information it crashed Excel, okay? So I had to distill it down to just 2 key points. What was the building price index in 1981? What was the building price index in 2017? Guess what? It never went down, it grew. This is 1981, that's 2017. And you'll notice that there's a much larger bar at 2017. And they've changed it from 2017 to now, and as you can see, it still doesn't go down. So there was a comment from somebody, I'm not going to say who it was or what they do for a living, but I am going to say they should know better, saying that this thing that has never, ever in its history ever come down, that this needs to come down. What do you think the likelihood of that's going to be? Wages can't go up. Businesses will suffer. The employee of one business is the customer of another business. The reason margins are falling is because people aren't getting paid. Look, I don't want to get into my background again, all right? But trust me when I say I could give you a masterclass on pricing. If prices go up, they don't come down because it's often very difficult to make them go up. Let me zoom back out here. 1992 Super Nintendo Game Boy prices. This is in US dollars. 1992. Those prices are almost the same as what they are today. More than 30 years later. Increasing the prices of video games, extremely difficult. Extremely difficult. So you're constantly worrying about costs. You're constantly worrying about margins. The margins are very small right now. Costs are very high. The price of the product, almost unchanged. When I say these prices are not going to come down, I'm telling you, they're not going to come down. So if the cost of construction ain't coming down, what do you think is going to happen to the price of houses? All right, because this has been sent to me several times, okay? Why more economists think the Bank of Canada is done cutting interest rates. Listen, earlier this week, I thought the Bank of Canada was going to be done cutting interest rates. The strife in the Middle East almost put paid to the idea that rates would get cut. But turns out, wasn't that big of a deal at all. And that should have been thought about before this was published just a couple days ago. Shrinking economy may not be enough for the Bank of Canada to start cutting rates. Yeah, because a shit economy, that's fantastic for the dollar. High unemployment? Wonderful. How bad does the news have to get before people start doing their job correctly?